Hi, this is me, Helmut Flasch, and welcome to the video series of how to be successful via marketing, how to make basically your competition irrelevant. And before I start off in this whole seminar, let me tell you a few basic fundamentals, how we're going to go about it. All right. First of all, at the beginning, the first literally more than half, or at least a good half, anyway, something like that, I'll be talking a lots of principles, basic fundamental principles. Every so often I hear somebody saying, well, we know the principle, we heard them, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me tell you this. If you're not doing actually quite super well and moving really rapidly towards the area, then the principles are not quite known to you. Besides, you see, here's the thing. The steps in the second half, the more or less mechanical steps of how to do the marketing, in most cases they will make no sense if the principle isn't there. I've seen it so often. You know, being 20 years in the consulting business in you know, several continents, literally, you know, between my wife and me in Taiwan and in America, and you know, we have more than 70 or 80 employees. Let me tell you this. Whenever we start off with just mechanics and say, do this, do this, do this, people come back, oh no, that won't work, blah, 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 blah. If we just give them the principle, they will not come up with the mechanics themselves in most cases, in many cases at least. You know? And so you need both of them. And just keep this in mind, okay? Leaders are readers. And no matter how many books you read on the subjects of business marketing and self-motivation and sales and behavior and how to talk and how to create relationships, most of them have to do with principles. And let me tell you this, you couldn't, no matter how successful you are, you couldn't read enough of them over and over again. So I just want to let you know, please do not disregard the principles and you know, somehow shut off, because they are very needed. Let me, however, also tell you a few little rules here. As I will tell you some of those principles or some of the mechanics, okay, sometimes you'll go, no way, this couldn't be right, my industry doesn't do it, I don't do it, my neighbors don't do it, this country doesn't do it. I hear that all the time in India. And the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter. Okay? You must understand, things must change. At one point, we didn't fly to the moon. And then we did. At one point, we didn't have video cameras, digital, we didn't have email, we didn't have certain things. And yet we do. That's because people start doing different things. At one point, India was not a free country. Gandhi came along and made it a free country. So if all those people would have somewhere along the line believed that, well, how it is how it is, then nothing would ever change. So please look at that. However, that said, I want you to realize that what's true for you is true for you. If what I say just simply is not true for you in any shape and form, well, throw it out. Just don't use it. However, I would suggest you to look at it. I would, you know, if I say something, look at it like a test of the law of gravity. If I say there's a law of gravity and things always fall down and you go, no, I don't believe in that. Well, go ahead and dump a glass of water and do it many times. Do a few things for you to realize that maybe it is true, and then act on it. Do we have an agreement on that? I hope we do. A couple other principles is, and I think I mentioned that already, you know, go through the whole thing and look constantly of how could it be true? How could what he just says maybe be different, rather than, you know, shutting down. And keep realizing this. It will be your resourcefulness which will make this whole thing working. All right. That's it for this particular introduction here. You know, go on to the next video. I just wanted to make sure that you realize only, you know, the main point here is that you realize first we're going to go for big principles, then we're going to go for the steps. At the end, it should all fall nicely together. And the other thing I wanted you to realize is, no matter whether I say it, no matter whether I quote people like Mr. Bill Gates or Jack Welch or whoever the hell I might want to quote, Mr. Hubbard, anybody, keep realizing that. Whether they say it, whether I say it, it's not true for you if it's not true for you. Do please realize that. I totally grant you that particular beingness. I grant you that. I have to, because it's the only way it works. You need to walk with me, and if that walk after you're through with this video series simply isn't for you, and then fine. However, there may be a few things in there which you disagree. Again, to me they're so true. To me, they're 100% proven, 100% proven. There's nothing I tell you which is experimental. There's nothing I tell you which I don't practice myself. And that brings me maybe to my last important point. Only because I tell you what to do and how to do it and that I do it and all that stuff, it doesn't mean that I don't have a hard time myself executing it and doing it. It doesn't mean that. Okay? It doesn't mean that I'm prone against it. It doesn't mean that I don't have to get up every morning and fight. All right? It doesn't mean that. I do. So please, settle down for an adventure here. You know, get the principles, get the steps, and evaluate it for yourself. But give it enough of a try to say, let me try what he said, whether it might be work. And you will be surprised how well it will work, okay? Enjoy yourself.